Well, it's my role here. I've taken much too long, but I know how to cover all this in a brief time. But it's my role to introduce people now who have various aspects, that work in various aspects of this case. So I want to introduce Steve Coakley, who with Eric Muhammad has spent a lot of time in recent years working.
I really appreciate everybody taking some time to be here in this room. If you have a chance, go call a friend, use your cell phone. Next 30, 60 seconds, you got somebody that's upstairs in the room, tell them to come down. We're gonna break some fresh ground here for a few minutes, and I want to be fair and respectful to other people who've come a long way to participate here for this program. And I know I came a long way to be here, and I'm real excited. There'll never be enough time to get to all of the things that are deeply relevant about what we're trying to say. I got some things that'll be on the overhead, a few that'll be on video, some of the things that Mr. Pepper has said, some of the things that Mr. Melanson has worked on, some of the things that Mr. Garrison represented, will be some of the things that I'll translate for you, our people, in a way that we can most easily digest the dynamic of those issues. All of these men have contributed in such an awesome way, and it's pieces of each of what we have to say that make a whole picture. We have never had the opportunity to be woven together. There have been attempts in the past to convene assassination conventions, but many times some of the least known of us, especially those who are black, are not recognized by most of the quote conspiracy theorists, but I'm a server of African people. In the process of serving my people, I'm more known as somebody who speaks about the dynamic of the world power. When I come to talk to my people, when I was here in Memphis, or I'm in Atlanta, or I'm in Oakland, or I'm in LA, or Cincinnati, or San Francisco, or Dallas, or Houston, I'm known as the guy who has to translate the dynamic of the investment bankers, the commercial bankers, the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, the World Bank, the Trilateral, the GATT, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, the World Affairs Council, the RAND Corporation, the Brookings Institute, the American Enterprise Institute. It's my responsibility to translate those things. World centralization of white power brought us here today. We're here because someone was assassinated, and this was not the only person who was assassinated in the program for world control. Right. The Bush family has a political dynasty that the Kennedy family was not allowed to have. In this program for world control, something we're getting ready to talk about right now, this is hardcore serious. This is denied the educated. This is denied the speculators. The aura about, quote, the word conspiracy is worse than boo-boo on toilet paper. They don't want the children to invest in looking at how did the world end up in such an awful position that people could force a war on fabricated information and the population remains impotent. So my responsibility in a quick sort of way is to tie this down. There are some loose ends. Several years ago, there was an investigation by the U.S. Justice Department. And in that investigation, they spoke of two people in an unnamed way. One named Memphis Minister and another code-named SCLC Minister. And those two men were black men. And as a result of the work of Mr. Pepper and the King family, and Mr. Garrison and all the others, at the trial and the representation, and Mr. Gregory, who's our street advocate, he's the one that keeps us connected to the people sometimes we don't get to talk to.
That's right.
He's the grand master of something that I'm a student of.
That's right.
I sat on the floor at my college in 1974 and watched him and Mara Clark thumb little cards showing Kennedy's head going backwards. And I wanted to do and be something just like this. And I lived long enough to grow up to stand next to the man who I sat before.
That's right. That's
an honor to me as a brother and a contribution and respect for you as someone who's given me
All right, Steve.
All right, now.
Come on, Mr. Coach.
Here we go.
Make it plain.
One, while we're talking about this program for world control, all of you should get the latest issue of Atlantic Monthly. There's an article in there called Supremacy by Stealth. 10 Rules in Managing the World. It's about America as a white imperial power, and they better just get on with throwing it down.
All right.
I say that because this could only happen after the assassinations. This could only happen after the assassinations. And that's a very important thing for all of us to put in context. Brother, turn on that first overhead. On your program, there's a picture from the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. That's on your program. That picture is on your program, and superimposed on the picture is young Martin and his father's faces surrounding that moment. And this is a very difficult thing to do as someone, as a servant, to speak about people who are here or in the aura of impact. But it's my job to call it as I see it. I'm the name the names guy. Tonight we're going to name them real fast.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
That picture is a false picture. It's a lie. Everything about that picture helped everything that we stand against happen. If they had not started that initial misdirection of that way, all the other bundles and James Earl Ray on a bathtub, sticking out of a window that he couldn't have possibly shot from, all of that happened because of that moment. And that moment was instigated by a man named Miriam McCullough. Because when you get down to ask everybody, why did you point in that damn direction? They say, well, the guy sitting there said, I know where the shot came from. It came from over there. I was in the military. And he had been in the military, but he was still in the military. That's what he did say. And he was working under the cover of Memphis. What's the damn utility company here? Yeah, y'all ought to have a month without paying them, pay them late for having financed and fronted for the snitch that helped kill Martin King. No utility company provided a cover. That meant that somebody in their payroll department had to write the phony check. And he was useful to the group because he could drive a car. All right. That woman on the balcony, that first woman, there's no reason for her to be there. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, and she's there because she's cleaning up the room down the hall where the invaders were located.
Ooh.
And what's important about that is the checkout time is 12 noon. What's the checkout time here in the Marriott? You can't sit around till no 6 at night, can
That's
you?
right.
So it was suspicious that at 6 at night somebody went to get these boys out the room, but they was drunk, getting high, and had guns. And as soon as somebody wiped them out to the right, somebody came up the left and knocked on the damn door. And that was the Memphis minister. The SCLC minister was blamed for getting those boys out the room. And due to the power of this man and due to the strength of this family, they went to the Justice Department and asked for an investigation based on certain pieces of new evidence.
That's right.
Now, I wasn't big on that Wilson thing. I see the family wasn't either. You wanted to help, that's all cool. That adds some fluff in there. Let them go chase some stuff while we focus on some other things. But in the process of saying what the Justice Department said, which is that there's no need for any further investigation ever in the history of the world on the King thing. That's what they said. And they said about 15 damn times. They spoke against Melanson. They spoke against Pepper. They spoke against Judge Joe Brown, who did the ballistics test, and I swear to God, the Black Caucus, he said it resembled a handgun. We talking about 2 holes in Martin's face. You ain't never heard a discussion about 2 people. In Pepper's book, he follows Ernestine Campbell, who says she sees the SCLC minister take his hand down and put something in the tote bag. I got Don Rose, a civil rights activist in Chicago, who met Jesse and took him to the Today Show the next day.
That's
And
right.
he said Jesse was still holding his tote bag in his hand, and it wasn't the shirt. This ain't about the bloody shirt. It is not a crime to lie about whose blood is on your shirt. It is not a crime to lie about whether you clutched him at the end or whether you didn't. So don't get caught all up in that. That ain't going nowhere. Right? People in trauma do very traumatic things.
That's right.
And Andy spoke to the fact that he could be sane and reasonable about the fact that Ralph scooped the blood and Jesse put his hands in and rubbed it on his shirt, but they were traumatized. Ralph cried when he saw them cut Martin's head open in the autopsy. He said, that's not my buddy there anymore. That's just the remains of his body. But you can feel, I feel when I read and I hear the hurt of the family as us as victims who have continuously allowed ourselves to be assassinated without retaliation. I ain't talking about calling no court or no police.
All right. I'm
talking about they'll stop killing black people when black people show they will hurt who's ever involved. Here, that we have a little assassination Assassination Prevention Bureau. And if you don't think it can happen, it just happened to Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
That's right.
This brother was killed at 53 years old under the guise of natural causes, and he's the blackest militant brother we have. He's gone, ain't even a suspect. No such thing. So excuse me a minute while I'm serious about this. I have children I want to live till they get tired. I want children's children to have an opportunity, and adults, you owe it to these babies. Right. We gotta quit yoking with this thing.
That's right.
There are secret societies that run the White House, Skull and Bones, and the one before him was Clinton, a Rhodes Scholar, and the one before him was Skull and Bones. There, Clinton went to Yale, Hillary went to Yale, Lieberman went to Yale, Curry went to Yale, Dean went to Yale, Cheney went to Yale, Bush went to Yale. What the hell y'all voting on in Yale? I don't care which way it go, Yale go in the damn thing. It's Yale from top to bottom. Ain't no damn other school up in here. Can't nobody be in the White House from Memphis State. Well, this is a serious thing, but let me put this thing in context. It was the killing of the charismatics. They were white and they were black. Norman Lincoln Rockwell was just as electrifying as George Wallace was.
That's right.
He was electrifying white people to the point that the damn Wallace carried Indiana. That's when they shot his ass when the Southern guy won in the North.
That's right.
Nixon had them same boys. How many of you all saw the movie Bad Boys 2? Watching now is tricky because in there, rescuing the two brothers is a group called Alpha 66. They snuck Alpha 66 on our people like they rescuing Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. And these are racist, Bay of Pig, exile, murderers, gun runners, ruthless little thieves we've been chasing all over the planet. You don't know about these wars we have with these people. The Fish is Red, the little gun runner crew, Gary Hennings and the others. I'll tell you some shit that lasts all night. Y'all got all night?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be talking all night for right here.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we are here, we'll have the opportunity to talk all night if you're concerned that way about your children. I